Welcome back to Studio 701.
You know, it's never too early to talk about retirement, and today we get to talk with an expert on the matter. We were welcoming John, CFS financial representative located at Capital Credit Union. Thank you so much for being here, John.
Good morning, John.
Well, thank you. Good morning. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas. Do you like our ugly Christmas sweaters?
I think they're fantastic for this time of year. That's what we want to do. We want to have fun.
Well, it's a beautiful tie you have there, John.
Thank you.
I'm not going to call it ugly at all.
Getting in the spirit. No, it's beautiful. My wife picked it out. So.
Oh, that is extra beautiful. Now, a lot of us hope to have a successful retirement at some point in our lives, but you're the man to see to make sure that we get there. So what are your 5 tips for reaching retirement?
Sure. So, there's just so much confusion, and people are intimidated, I think, by digging into their own money. And I want to talk about the 5 things that I talk about with almost everyone. It doesn't matter, where you're at in your retirement plan. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter how much you've saved. But to understand these 5 economic principles, or tenets as I call them, will really arm you and make it so much less take the fear out of the process of planning for your retirement. So the first one I want to talk about is inflation. Everyone has heard about it. If you turn on any sort of business channel, you fall asleep immediately when they start talking about this stuff. So in an effort to not have you fall asleep today, I'm going to try to be as passionate and energetic as I can. But before that, I want to ask Sue over there still if you can cook ham on your green egg.
Absolutely.
All right. I'm a dad too. I got lots of dad jokes here as well. So the first one is inflation, and that is the depletion or the reduction in buying power of your dollar over time. We all know as we grow up, things cost more over time. Well, that's really just the erosion of value of money over time, and that inflation sits at about 3.2%. Rolling over the last 100 years. Right now, we're looking at about 1.2%. So that means that your investments have to earn over 1.2% right now, or over 3.24% over a longer period of time, in order for you to be actually moving forward with your retirement planning. And as we know, in savings accounts and checking accounts, money market accounts, you can't get that kind of rate of return. So it's really forcing all of us into a position where we need to seek out taking risk, and to understand how much risk to take, or to understand what your risk tolerance is where somebody like I come in. The second one is time value. As you look at people, is compounding of returns. So compounding of returns, Albert Einstein said that the 8th wonder of the world is inflation, is compounding of returns. Compounding of returns, what he went on to say is, either you understand it or you don't. And if you understand it, you're going to earn that compounding. If you don't, you're going to pay it. So it's really important for people to understand that adding returns and interest on top of interest is where we see great headway made in terms of retirement accounts. Someone might have $500,000 in their retirement account when they retire, but maybe their cost basis is $150,000. It depends on the rates of return. The third is time value. Time value just says that how long is it going to take for your money to double over time? Will it take 7 years? Will it take 10 years? There's a mathematical correlation or mathematical equation that goes into that. But reality, you just have to make sure that you start young. You need to start young and start right away. The fourth one is opportunity cost, and that's probably the most important. If you put your money here and you don't put your money here, and this grows to here and this stays here, the difference between those 2 amounts is opportunity cost. We make decisions about what we should do with our time every single day, and that's an opportunity cost decision. The other one is dollar cost averaging, and I add that one in because most people take on a career where they have an employer-sponsored plan that will put money into their account for them, match them, and it will allow them to grow their returns greater over time. But the key about dollar cost averaging is that you're putting the same amount of money in at periodic points, so you're buying shares at lower prices and higher prices. And if you do buy shares at a lower price, your average share price over time will be less than your cost will be less than the actual average share. It just means that as markets rebound and come back up, you're going to see a greater exponential return on your investments.
So a question I have for you, John, what about a time like now where the stock market overall is the highest it's ever been?
That's interesting. It's the highest it's ever been, but if you take any snapshot in time in the markets going back in history, you can find spots along the way where it's the highest it's ever been. That doesn't mean that we're not going to continue to trend upward over time. And if you have 3 to 5 years of time to play with your money that you have to invest, you should feel very good about putting that to work according to your risk tolerance. If you have no risk tolerance at all, then you're going to want to be very careful and and understand that some of these investments that we can do for you will go backwards, could go backwards for the short period of time. But I will just say this, Jeff. The markets rebound. They've always rebounded rather quickly. I hear people say, you know, I lost this one in 2008. The only way you lose is if you get out of the market. It's like getting off the roller coaster at the top of the curvature. You want to wait till the ride comes to a stop before you get off, and where you're going to get off is determined by your time horizon.
Perfect.
Great information. Thank you so much, John.
Yes, thanks, John. We appreciate you being here.
And this has been Ways to Save, Ways to Spend. Make sure you go see John or find out more information at capcu.org.